Hello, my beautiful stars. Welcome back to Path of Spirals Tarot. My name is Claire. I am a life coach of 10 years. I'm a Reiki practitioner. I do shamanic journeying. I've been reading cards for as long as I've been in an adult, maybe even before then. And this channel is a more recent adventure, a recent endeavor that has been proven itself so far subtly, energetically, to be very satisfying. I've really enjoyed doing it. And today I've been really overcome with a deep sense of gratitude for those of you who have been tuning in or reaching out to me. It's been a really beautiful time entering 2026 for me, and I really couldn't do it if I wasn't having people viewing my videos and engaging with the content. So really genuinely, thank you so much for being here. Now today I have the Medicine Woman deck by Carol Bridges, and I have the Medicine Woman Inner Guidebook. My last reading I did had a lot of really heavy motifs, and I really like to have a balance between, like, if you open up the tarot cards and you give a reading, you have to be prepared that like some of the stuff that you might be talking about could be a really heavy topic, and the reading might indicate that somebody's in a really dark place in their lives. And although those readings can be very helpful and help us like get right to the point, give us a solution, show us where we should go, sometimes it's nice to just know that what we're pulling is going to be an uplifting kind of reading, which is why I'm cracking out the Divine Feminine reading today here with this Medicine Woman deck. This is one of the first decks I started to play with a very long time ago when I felt called to these cards. I think the very first time I got called to tarot in general was in high school on Tumblr back in the 20 teens. I remember tumbling upon this deck, and it just stopped me in my tracks. There was something about it that just felt so like, oh, what is that? Who is she? And when I finally got my hands on this deck some years later, I had like literally had the vision of this deck, sort of macerating in my mind's eye for some years. I finally got my hands on it and I was like, oh, it really did come and choose me. This is the first deck that chose me before I really realized that tarot and oracle work was going to be a big part of how I show up on Earth. So anyways, we are going to be pulling some cards quite intuitively. I'm sure we're going to get a different message for each today. I only have this deck, but I have this deck with it has so much. We can read from the book today and just get lost in the beautiful empowerment that this deck brings when it's calling forth divine feminine energy, how it wants to manifest, and what we can do to empower ourselves as we doula ourselves into a new way of living. Okay, now before we get started, I actually wanted to share something I have started offering. I've been making. I am an artist on top of all the other hats that I have, and I have been making astrological watercolored birth charts with micron pens and metallic watercolors. I have a few different styles, but the one that I've been experimenting with is where I actually like watercolor the planets into them. And then, obviously I put the astrological or the zodiac around the center. I have this one, I've made this one, and I haven't really seen anything quite like the way that I've been making these. I think they can be a really great evergreen gift for somebody's birthday. Birth chart, birthday. If you are interested in ordering a handmade birth chart from me to a pretty decent price, I've only started doing these and I haven't exactly perfected the craft of them. I give you a good deal. So you can hit me up. I'm here on YouTube, but you can also find me on Path of Spirals Tarot on Instagram and Path of Spirals on TikTok. You can send me a message there, and I also have a Gmail that's pathofspiralstarot@gmail.com if you'd like to reach out to potentially get yourself or somebody you love a birth chart. And I'm also very open to different types of aesthetics. So you can like tell me what the person's general vibe is, if they're more of like a botanical girly, if they have a lot of fire placements, the colorways, the general metallics that are used. A lot of things can be changed exactly to your liking, and I love a creative challenge. So if you are interested in this at all, feel free to find me on some other platform other than here and reach out and send me a message. Okay, without further ado, today we have a little duck, and he's got his hands up. He's like either partying with his hands up or he's covering his ears. I don't want to hear it. He also has like a really big bill. He's kind of an obscure little duck, but cute. We have a crescent moon, like a waning, waxing or waning gibbosy. No, it's about crescent. It's a full crescent moon. And then we have a skull. Might be a flower agate skull. Okay, so have a little look, viewers. Decide which one feels like the right card for you, and we will channel a message. All right, group one, our eccentric little duck. Let's see what the cards have in store for us today. These cards are a bit worn. They have been shuffled a lot of times over the years. I'm also reading these just upright today because there's just so much to derive from them upright. That's just the way I've kind of programmed these cards in particular. So yeah, let's put this here. Now we call in God. We call in God, the universe, source, Gus, Allah, Hashem. However you connect is what we are calling in today. We call in ancestors, we call in angels and archangels, we call in spirit animals, totem animals, and any types of energies that are here to help lock in the highest purpose divine feminine reading today. And we also cast a crystalline dome over the reading so that we can keep sacred energies in as messages are being sent back and forth, and we cast negative energy out of the reading, okay? So let's see what we've got going on. Actually, I already see. We have the Ace of Stones, one of my favorite cards. I love this card so much. I've actually watercolored this card before. It's like the Ace of Pentacles or the Ace of Coins. But you see that there's a person who's trying to reach towards some type of abundance, and all of the ancestors are around them watching them go up this sacred ladder. Oh, we love that. What else is going on? The Six of Bowls, which would be like the Six of Cups. This is about nostalgia, right? Like if you were to read this like RWS, like the RWS deck, then Six of Bowls is going to be like Six of Cups, which is about reminiscing, pulling from the past, finding inspiration and groundedness in a time that has passed. We have the Peacemaker, which is like the Hierophant, which indicates, you know, a spiritual path or going to school, learning. Okay. We have the Ace of Arrows, just like the Ace of Swords, I believe. New information coming in. Sitting in meditation. Six of Arrows, seeing something new. Okay. We have Six of Bowls. Oh, and Six of Arrows. Notice that, okay? Six of Arrows is also about finding new vistas, something that wasn't working. You're going towards something new. And then the Apprentice of Arrows. Oh, so you see this very cohesive story here on the bottom, given the cards on the top. So this indicates that you are entering a phase of life where you are going to learn some type of new vocation, inspired by a time in your life where you want to recreate the energy or the emotionality of that time. And this is going to be the start of like legacy vocational work. And then we see more in the short term, like there has been a sacred meditating on what it is you are going to be doing. There's been a co-creation of that idea between you and your guides. You have like a wolf, you have an owl, and you have just like this overhead celestial being, almost like divine feminine moon energy coming in. The Six of Arrows also indicates that wherever you have been is not going to be where you're going now. It is going to be vastly different, and that you're entering, this is like the Knight of Swords, moving towards a higher calling and a different type of vocational work, whereby you are both, well, it has you both as student and teacher, which indicates like this nostalgic energy from childhood getting to come back into the function. that it's going to be more prominent going forward here. So this sort of indicates almost like there has been this sudden break in whatever work you were doing, it's not working anymore. But you know that there's a new path for you to take. And it's better that you're taking this path because you want to feel more emotionally fulfilled. And it guarantees like your guides are watching like what's going to happen. So make sure you can see this. Perfect. It's actually perfect in here. We have the ace. Yeah. And then I'm wondering what was it that maybe broke for you? Was it maybe emotional? Was it like a burnout? Was it just the environment and the old work that you were doing? You outgrew it? And like there's this whole vista of things ahead for you. Now if we go here to this, let's see here. Is it one? Yeah, here. Okay. Ace of Stones. Crystallize the idea of prosperity. Six of Bowls. Appreciate experiences of the past. Yep. We'll save, that's a major arcana. Ace of Arrows. Have the will to do. The Six of Arrows. End struggle and seek a higher mind. And then the Apprentice of Arrows is stand by your words. Let's read about the Peacemaker here. The Hierophant. Oh, we flipped right to it. Okay, affirm for yourself. I am the mediator between my God self and my world. I bring the within outward, recognizing that my presentation and the world's responses are just. I am at peace with all outcomes. This card speaks. I am the guiding voice speaking to you from within your heart, combining the soul's needs with those of the world. I tell you when to speak and when to be silent. I'm the go-between, the bridge. I'm the one who knows the ways of the world, and yet I'm not overwhelmed by them. I tell you how to bring your highest vision into creation. If you've listened to the tarot cards before me, you've seen what can be. You have created a supportive structure for your ideas and ideals. Now, I tell you how to be present with yourself through these structures. I'm your interface with the world. If you're not within a structure, be it job, relationship, or society, which supports your wholeness, you may find me suggesting quote-unquote outrageous things. Depending on how non-beneficial your structure is for your self-actualization, I will cause trouble. It is my role, in whatever way I must, to move you through the changes required for your spiritual growth. Your choice is to create a path of your choosing, or I will open the earth before you. I am a master of protocol, the right ritual of every situation. I understand completely what is expected in conventional terms, and yet I never miss an opportunity to shine a light through any crack I see. At times, I have appeared as the gypsy prince holding the mysteries in my consciousness and acting intuitively in the world. I have been called the peacemaker, for I understand every side of every dispute and always bring the polarities into balance. I realize that a suffering person suffers because she has become ready for a new and higher level of being. If you listen, I speak the way. I'm the book of changes. I'm the darkness and the dawn. I'm the movement in the dance of life. Look to me for revelation of all things sacred. These are the unchanging within the changed. You will hear me call you onto better things. As you pass each chance for change, you will know if you've taken the right step. You will know, for you will feel the presence of the peacemaker inside yourself. I'm with you. So you may question, am I willing to move ahead in the direction I see as best for myself, or do I wait until circumstances force me to grow? That is something you can ask if you've been this way. In what way have you moved through life? By making changes before you were forced to change or not? Visualization. Realize yourself as a peacemaker. Go now in the eye of your mind and speak clearly where the speaking is needed. Touch where you've previously been afraid to touch. Stand up before you have sat back in silence. Let love come through where anger lived. Feel the physical changes. Also, this is ruled by the sign Taurus. That makes a lot of sense. This is sort of your guiding card as the peacemaker, with it being the major arcana. And that, yeah, there some things in your life have been going way wrong so that you can get it way right. And it sort of feels like, it has gone so wrong that at this point there's nothing left for you to do other than try the thing that feels outrageous. And that's by design. Otherwise, if you're just like slightly too comfortable within the discomfort of the thing that was not fitting right for you, you would stay there much longer. And what's the point? Sometimes we just get flushed out of that situation and we go someplace new. Now, the Six of Bowls has two beautiful dolphins. I absolutely love that. Like the most mystical, amazing, highly intelligent creatures. So think back to a time where there was an emotionality that you would like to recreate in the work that you will do going forward. You know, for the work I do here on this channel, the emotions I derive from what I'm doing, like the channeling, the sense of depth that I'm able to reach when I do readings, gives me a lot of energy in a world that depletes me in so many other ways. And that's why my work is really important, to have some type of vertical depth to what I do. And that reminds me of just being a child and being way more in touch. Like I was always in touch with the energy, even if I didn't have the vocabulary for it. And there's also like a sense of like inner child, going back to nostalgia. The Apprentice of Eros is letting your inner child kind of take the center stage. In what ways would you like to stop suppressing your inner child? Because your inner child is the fire center, the powerhouse of your creative energy. If you're somebody who's a highly sensitive person, it's really important that you feed the inner child, because the inner child and the sacral chakra, those two things, if they're in balance and they kind of are in the driver's seat, you won't really run out of energy. You will be able to do your work, your vocational work, for hours on end and hyperfixate on it and not get tired of it. On the shadow side of it, if you try to do anything other than that, you'll get depleted so fast / get an autoimmune disease or something. So see that call, if you felt this constant push and pull, that like it's inevitable and you don't really have any other choice, but make the choice to take the leap and the net will appear before you get pushed off the ledge. Okay? That's the divine message for group 1. Let's see what your divinely channeled message is today. Oh, the Badusi flying out already. Take it easy. This feels super fast paced. It's like a cheetah. 3 of Arrows. Okay, that's the 3 of Swords. Something piercing through the heart. Okay, but these cards are a little different, like in their meanings, than RWS. So let's keep an open mind. 4 of Arrows. Hello. Okay, that would be taking a rest. She's also making something. Okay. 4 of Stones. This indicates basic survival. Okay. Okay. Totem of Bowls, which is going to be the Knight of Cups. 8 of Pipes. 6 of Stones. You have a kind of a varied reading here, as far as we have a little bit of each element. 2 arrows or swords, 1 pentacle or stone, 1 bowl, 2 stones, one cup or 1 bowl, and 1 pipe or wand. 3, 2 fours, only 1 court card. Let's see. Now if we pull up here, just want to read the short descriptors here and see if I see any difference in how these are described from the regular RWS. Okay, 3 of Arrows, listen to your heart. 4 of Arrows, contemplate your blessings. 4 of Stones, materialize your love into form. Totem of Bowls, swim in eternal light. 8 of Pipes, develop your art from stillness. And then 6 of Stones, restore balance to your accounts. Listen to your heart, contemplate your blessings. Materialize your love into form. Swim in eternal light. 8 of Pipes. Develop your art from stillness, and 6 of Stones. Restore balance to your accounts. Okay, so 2 things that are sticking out to me in this reading is going to be the 6 of Stones, restoring balance to your accounts, and swimming in eternal light. It feels like there is a call here to take a step back, sit in meditation, sit in union with yourself, and find some grounded energy. I want to start with the Totem of Bowls. I actually want to read a little bit about what the Totem of Bowls is saying. It's all the way the back here. It's funny, you know, I'm doing this reading and I feel very still. I feel very zen and very meditative. Like I almost don't have any thoughts, which is very paradoxical when you're channeling. You gotta talk in your reading, but I almost feel like I'm at a loss for words. Okay, well, let's start with the dolphin, the swimmers. There's a prayer that this starts with, and then a lesson. The prayer says, "Straightforward I travel, speaking the truth as I know it. I'm here not only to console, but to give to others the tools with which they might lift themselves up. I will offer the ideas that free the mind and body and have the heart from pain. My life will be lived as an example of harmony and balance among the creatures of earth. Always I will seek to live in higher consciousness, the awareness of your presence in all that is. I will act as a warrior on the path of peace. My soul shall be impeccable." The lesson is learn from the swimmers. Consider the dolphins, the whales, their patient and persistent love. Go to the ocean or a stream. Float on a still pond. Imagine yourself floating in Great Mother's arms, surrounded by liquid love in the sea of life. Empty your mind. See what I said? Empty your mind. I guess I'm leading by doing. Empty your mind. Let the glistening fish colors, the soft shell shades, the gleaming subtle rock forms pervade your consciousness. Listen to the sound of water creature. Be cleansed. Dissolve all obstacles. Absolve all friendships of any need for guilt and let go. Feel your body weightless. Glide. Dive deeper into the pool of love. Watch the sun sparkle on the water until the scene becomes another enchanted world. Play with the waves. See the correlation of all things with your life. Be a fish. Become at home in the water element. Become at home in the easy push and pull of waves of love. Learn to live as if life were a stream, constantly nourishing. Be content in the here and now. Yeah, I just sort of feel like I'm supposed to breathe with you here. Notice how stillness feels so good. We just had this big lesson of water. And the Six of Stones, despite it being stones or pentacles, she's going to the river. Okay? She's going to the river. There's this sort of presence of mind in this photo, this one, and this one. Like these two are almost the same. She has her right hand above her left. She's crafting things in both. But she's crafting, but her mind is someplace else. She's standing with her shield, but her mind is almost someplace else. And notice that there's a lot of guidance coming. You have an owl totem and you have a hawk. So you also have this these totem animals that are coming in, and that is also like a higher consciousness energy that is visiting you as well. You have this listening to your heart. Now the Three of Arrows, when you look at like Three of Swords, that's typically denoted as a somewhat negative card, right? That like it's heartbreak. But this card is a little bit more about listening to your heart when something pierces the veil of your heart in a very deep and meaningful way. So it sort of feels like there's this higher divine energy, this sort of download that's coming in for you that indicates you should stop and just listen. And then there's an ancestor who's shaking like something like a rattle, which like a rattle or a drum would say that like there's this sort of trance state that's coming at the same time of listening to your heart. And when you do trance work, it is much easier to listen to your heart. So there's a mixture of both sitting in peace and also doing, but doing so in a meditative way. Like, so there's also this call to sit in meditation. And if you don't just like to sit still, like do a craft, DIY, make something or make a meal. You know, she's got like food here. She looks like she's making a necklace. She's making some type of textile. She's holding her shamanic drum outside of her yurt. And she's washing her corn. It looks like her corn kernels. She's giving an offering. And that's the thing too, is like Six of Stones is Six of Pentacles, and Six of Pentacles is like charity and giving. So she's making an offering. So these cards are asking you to soak up this energy. It's almost like this reading is giving you a medicine through stillness, a trance state, and a call to create with intention and with meditation in mind. It seems like it's just what you need. Just sort of let your shoulders relax. Let higher dimensional energy come through your crown. And it looks like your outcome is you're making something in union with your higher self, being at one with this sort of dolphin energy. And then in the end, what you've created, you're passing forward. Now the Eight of Pipes represents the Eight of Wands, and the Eight of Wands is a very rapid change, a very quick change. So it's almost like it's almost like you're in this sort of transitionary period where you're not like in the beginning here, it's almost like you have this sort of realization coming in and you're not entirely sure what to do with it, but you make sense of what pierces your heart and you sort of sit and basket weave it into something else. You take on this sort of flow of this water energy, and suddenly there's this really fast shift by which you're able to have enough to give and pass forward. And it's like there's this silence in this reading, but it's like the silence is so powerful. So I feel like we should almost just like sit here for a minute and just let ourselves be quiet. It seems to me that you have needed somebody or some energy to model this sort of centered, grounded energy. I almost sort of feel like you're coming into this reading a bit ungrounded, a little bit unsure, a little bit like splayed out in every direction. And all the energies are just trying to sort of weave you back down into the earth and ground you so you can kind of move through life with a bit more bliss and peace and with the right sort of discernment about what life is all about, you know? It's sort of giving like high up in the clouds. Like I feel very replenished and nourished from this particular reading. I hope you do too. What an interesting reading. I've never really felt this way when giving a reading before. But I feel very revitalized, and I hope you do too. Almost sort of feels like there was this Reiki energy coming out in this one. I love it. And I hope you do too. Thank you, Group 2. All right, Group 3. You chose this flower agate skull. I really find a deep sense of comfort in skulls. I have quite a few skull crystals. I just really like the aesthetic of them, and I don't know, I just find something so comforting about the aesthetic of a skull. Some people find them a bit unnerving. It's probably the inner death doula energy inside of me. The sort of like, I don't know, I just kind of like it. Now, Group 2's reading was extremely meditative, so I call my energy back to me and push new energy into Group 3's reading so that, sorry, we should keep our little skull here, so that the reading is exactly what Group 3 needs. So let's have a real good shuffle of the cards and see what starts to come through. I'm feeling almost this like hesitancy before one jumps into something energy coming through here. That you're gaining momentum, okay? Totem of Pipes, the eagle or the flyer. So this is going to be Knight of Wands. Yeah, see, taking action after like leaping and taking action. That card's the one that jumped out. Okay, hello. The Grandfathers, which is the star card, which, you know, in the traditional RWS deck is about healing, but the Grandfathers is also about initiated elder masculine energy guiding you. I also, fun fact, I pulled this card for myself the day that my grandfather passed away, and I saw it as a very reassuring card. Before my grandfather passed away, he promised my mother that he would keep a real good watch over me on the other side. So I do also often read that card as like, you know, those loved ones who've passed on being present and helping you. So I wonder if there's going to be any more indication of that. The Ace of Arrows is kind of confirmation of that. It's like a realization of something being communicated. Sitting with the higher self, and then the guides of the wolf and the owl. These are actually two of my totem animals, a wolf and an owl. Okay, looks like a confirmation. You can also see this card as like, you know, like how we like to envision our loved ones when they pass on. Seven of Pipes. We have another pipes. Now this is Seven of Pipes in the regular traditional tarot is about sort of being on the defense, standing your ground. And here we have this sort of shamanic sort of dance happening in this card. So I will be reading a little bit more about the nuances of the difference here. Like a shamanic journey within that card almost. Shapeshifter card. I'm sensing this sort of hesitancy with the cards. Feels like I could almost shuffle forever. Why is that? Okay. Five of another pipes. Now in this deck, pipes are also spirit cards. They're a little bit less about like, fire and passion, and just like fire in general is also like the realm by which ghosts and spirit moves through us and talks to us. So to have us pull three of them is very much indicating this is like being visited by loved one who passed on energy. I really think that that's what's going on here. I think that's what's happening. Okay. So there's this presence for you in this reading group 3. Well, Jesus realized we pulled the skull. Girl, can't make this up. You can't make this up, okay? So I'm kind of curious, like, what is the... I want this last card to indicate, like, a message or, like, an encouraging sign for you. Oh, boy. An encouraging sign for you. What's the card that they want you to know? Take with you. Oh, God. Harvest Lodge of the Stones. So this is going to be, the lodge is the queen, I believe. This is Queen of Pentacles, which is also about inheritance and being the keeper of items. Like, look at this yurt, or this little like lodge is full of all sorts of abundance. So it sort of indicates like, I'm getting like heirloom being passed down, that there's an heirloom that is kind of coming for you, an inheritance, that there's a legacy in the inheritance that you're getting from them. I'm sensing like an actual physical inheritance that is making its way to you. And I sort of feel this is very specific. I sort of feel like this person who passed on, this individual, if it was your grandfather, grandmother, had something that was meant for you that I don't know if you necessarily got it yet, but there's a way that you are going to get it. Very specific. I'm almost seeing like jewelry. I'm seeing vehicles. I'm seeing things that like are actually worth like literal money. They are kind of confirming for me that there's something that was in their possession that is going to make its way to you. With all these pipes energies, that's very fast moving energy. It sort of indicates to me that it's not going to take that long. And even like Ace of Arrows, I mean, I see the arrows as moving quite quickly, despite it being almost like days, weeks. I wouldn't be surprised if after this reading, it's sort of just like this heads up that you're having, something's coming in for you from your ancestors, like a gift is coming from them. They're making sure you're going to get it. They're making sure you're going to get it. Lots of oversight here. You know, you have the hawk or the eagle. You have this sort of like flying reindeer. You have this star really high up. You have this higher self up above. And then only one card here do you have where it's sort of like this deer has come from high up and has come down to earth. But I guess since there's this progressive, like it's like the deer starts on the ground and then it goes up into the sky. You can kind of see these as like an initiatory. She's initiating herself into this shamanic journey by entering the forest. And then the deer is turning into a reindeer and pulling her up into the celestial sky. And I sort of see this as like you and maybe the loved one kind of being in union together. So it might indicate that there's a dream you'll have or a vision that's going to help you get to this. It's like it's not even like a metaphorical thing. There's actually something for you. I don't know if you're going to go back to their house or if they had like a storage unit or if there's like an individual in your family that knows something that you don't know. Something says like, girl, like get into that state of like being open to receive what they want you to hear. Like I feel like they've been trying to get the message to you from the beginning. They've been trying to get the thing to you that they want to get, but they can only do so much because they've passed on, right? They can only do so much. They need you to sit. Like these are both like sitting in union and like meeting that energy halfway, because they're being like, how much longer is she going to go before she gets this thing that like they wanted you to have? Huh. All right, let's read just a tiny bit here. Let's maybe read about the Harvest Lodge of the Stones. Here it is. Plenty for all. Let's just read the lesson. Great Mother's womb is filled with plenty. The future looks secure. You've stored what is needed and passed on your wisdom. You've replenished the source of your supply. You will be well fed. See, you'll be well fed. Look to your house of wares for everything. Literally, guys, look to your house of wares for everything you have gained. Have you given its seed to future generations? You beyond your earthly life. Who will carry on and how? Has your blueprint been clearly laid that others may follow? This is almost like the question that your loved one was asking themselves once they passed on. You may want to note the history of your success. Listen, guys, this is coded language. You may want to note the history of your loved one's success for those who come behind you searching. Guys, this is crazy. The hungry will be fed by what you leave for them. What do you bequeath to your children? What is the life way you leave them? Guys, that's insane. That's insane. Like, I didn't even read this card. I didn't even barely know what they were talking about, but the card is literally like your loved one is saying like they left something for you. Multiple things for you. There's like, you're sitting on a big egg. And I don't know if you've just been in grief. I sort of feel like there's like family politics involved. There's this there's been this sense of like there's no way for you to get to that thing. And you might even know too, some of you might even know exactly what that is. You might know, but there might be somebody standing in the way of it. Just know that anything that's meant for you will not pass you. And your family who's they've passed on, they're watching everything. They're always watching in a sense that like they're watching more than you realize. And they're always trying to co-create and co-conspire. If there's something that they want to either protect you from or gift to you, they will do it. You know, for example, I'll go back to my grandfather, okay? My grandfather passed away 4 years ago. Both of them did. But this one grandfather in particular, he fixes my car for me. He literally does things to my car. Like if I've had and he was a mechanic, okay? He was a mechanic. He went to car shows. He he won car competitions for how nice his car was, both with like the way that it was engineered and the aesthetic of it. It was always like these, he had like this cherry red hot rod. He was really, really good with machinery. And I've had some issues. I drive a Jeep, and every once in a while there's like something weird that'll happen with my car. And so far, like I haven't had to go to the mechanic. I'll literally pray to my grandfather and it'll just be fixed. Whether it's the windshield wipers, some mechanical issue, I've literally felt him be over my shoulder and be like, yeah, that was me. Like, I did that. I did that. And just know too that like your ancestors / like spirits and just anybody who's passed on, they don't have a body, but they can manipulate technology really, 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 really well. Technology, there's a saying in Sufism that the spirit is made from the tip of a flame. What is flame? It's fire. What is electricity? It's fire. It's that high force, high frequency energy. That's the closest that they can get to this earth. So they know how to get through that. So keep that in mind, okay? Pretty crazy stuff. I guess that's all I gotta say, y'all. That's honestly insane. Like I wasn't even thinking about that with this skull, but I love to see it. If you let me know down in the comments, like after this, like tell me when you get that jewelry or you get that payout. Crazy work. All right, thank you so much, Group 3. All right, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to this reading today. My name is Claire. You can find me here on Path of Spirals Tarot. You can find me on Instagram at Path of Spirals. You can find me on TikTok with my tarot game show is my newest addition. My newest thing I've added to the queue. TikTok game show. Path of Spirals on TikTok. Please go feel free to follow me there. And we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.